something like this might be the intervention that actually saves the chapter, given the numbers, and it might give them the opportunity to bond, a place for them to meet, hang out. I would anticipate it would help with recruiting too, with pledges, and that this might be a good intermediate step in intervention and investment, because if you don't do it, where are you going to be? It just seems like if you could use some of the housing funds, this would be a good investment. And I would think the members, the alumni would support that.
These guys needed some help, and we just went in there and took the bull by the horns, and we basically repledged them for half of the semester. We retaught them the TEAP guide. The number one problem with this chapter is they have no cohesiveness. They don't have the brotherhood they should have, because they don't even have a place to go and watch movies on Thursday night.
We talked about that back when you first started trying to bring us back and all that. I'm a firm believer you have to have a place where they can congregate, if it's just to watch a football game, or be able to invite guys over.
It's
hard to recruit when we got 8 guys and they're living in 8 different places, and they don't have to meet in a central location to meet.
I don't expect you to build a house right now, but I don't think we need to apologize for asking for something like this, because these guys don't even have a place to store their ritual equipment.
With this property, there is a garage in the back that you can use for storage. There's lots of storage space, and it would get you out of that storage rental that you have going on.
It's at least $600 a year, I'm sure.
Guys don't have a place. They don't even know where they're going to have their meeting every week. They have to reserve different rooms all the time.
They can't be worried about that.
And so
they need a place.
We have got to get these guys a place to call their own. We've got to get them an identity that puts them at least on the map. We've got money in a housing fund. This is a housing issue. But most of you gave that money to build a house. So we don't want to go in there raping that money. But this is as important as building a house right now.
I'm perfectly fine with us using the housing fund personally. If we don't have any other option.
Well, and if you don't do this, you may never have a house.
I think we're at a sink or swim point.
Getting this house to rent in the interim is as important right now as building the house will be when we have 50 plus guys and we're ready to do it. Here's where we're at. You've got a $1,600 a month rent. Because it is a fraternity house, how many of y'all would lease a nice property that you had to a bunch of fraternity guys? Because the property management is basically kin to Jerry, that got us our foot in the door. I have been looking for a house since March. I hadn't put it out there publicly, but since I've been working with these guys, I knew it was do or die. I've been looking. I've been talking to real estate people. I've been to Jerry Allison. His family has a couple houses down on Johnson, the area down by Aggie. I've been asked about that again. It's not like we have options, and Dr. Hall will be going by regularly. I'll go by.
The other thing that's really good about this property is that it's at the end of a dead-end road.
Yeah.
Very last house.
And the back is gated, but right next to it, it has a huge field that would be great for recreation, whether you're talking about softball or football, and so it's really an ideal location. It's quiet, and it's really kind of out of the way, but it's close to campus.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's really an amazing piece of property.
And the house has 3 bedrooms that will ideally lease to 4 guys. It's got a big living room. It's got a great kitchen with a commercial ice maker. It's got a big pantry with washer and dryer. It's got a closed-in sunroom in the back that can be used as a study room, game room, and you can even enter that from back, so the guys don't have to bother the guys that live there if they don't want to.
Lots of parking.
It's got 3 separate parking areas, and you can park 15 cars on asphalt and never touch the street. So there's no neighbor across the street from us. There's no neighbor to the right of us. There's one guy to the left, and there's a big fence, between us and him on part of the house.
Patio area for grilling.
Outdoor patio for grilling.
Shop building in the back.
the shop building, one side of it is kind of more raw, like a garage. That's where you park the bell. That way it's inside, protected. The other side could be your chapter area. It's got a gas heater. It's got an air conditioner out there.
It's just a concrete floor.
It's just a concrete raw. It's just a nice,
or something.
yeah, it's just a nice open garage area that you can't tear up. So it's a good chapter area back there. That driveway that goes down to the side of it, there's a huge semi-open shed. It's even got electricity to it. We can park our tailgate trailer under there. We cut our storage bill out. We've got a place for the bell inside. We've got a place for our trailer, covered from the weather. There's a field, if you look in the pictures, is about the size of a football field. We get to use all of that. I'm telling you, we can have goat roast there. We can have anything we want to at this house.
Be a good gathering place for alumni.
Weather's bad for a home football game and nobody wants to go outside. It'd be a great place just to meet over there.
Yeah, the house is good. The location, again, it's a 1/2 mile off of ASU. You know where the AGR house is, 2 streets, turn to the right, go down to the end of the street. Okay, here's the money. $1,600 a month lease. It's going on the market for $1,800 a month. But she's giving us $1,600, mainly because of Rapert. We can recoup the rent, maybe plus $100 from direct tenants. It looks like we may be able to push her back to mid-July. I don't really see getting anybody in there till August 1 when they start getting ready to come back to school. So I didn't want to just throw out $1,600 for July. But we're probably looking at $800 for the month of July because it's not going to be ready July 1. The biggest expense we've got is they want a double deposit. They want $3,200 deposit. We've got a legitimate active board of advisors that talks to the 2 chapter advisors. We're on top of this chapter like we had never been. We're going to ask if we can use, not spend, $3,200 of our housing fund to be a deposit. We've got just over 15,000, just hit the 15,000 mark, 52, I think, at Teak National. So we're sitting close to $70,000. So we're almost hitting that first 100,000. Help us get this house for these guys today. We want to put a sign up that says future home of Teak on campus at ASU.
Wonders having a house now, a rental house, and then no one they would truly believe that there's one in the near future.
Guys, this, like Dr. Hall says, this 3,000 to 5,000 that we're talking about, some of it's just using it as a deposit. Most of it is. A little bit of it is being spent. That is the make or break, do or die. That puts us on the map with the rest of them.
Jerry, if I can help with the sign on campus, if I need to talk with anybody, whether it's Dr. Stripling or Martha Speck or anything, let me know.
What the Board of Advisors is asking for authority to do is to basically be the guarantor, stand good for the rent. We will collect it. We'll pay it, we'll collect it. That way we don't show up 2 months later. Y'all are 2 months behind dues. Well, he was going to pay it. He didn't pay it. No. We take care of it ourselves. We're on top of it. And we will do that because we're local and we're able to, over half the board is. So what we're asking y'all to do is let us use $3,200 out of the housing fund. Let us use the deposit money out of that. We're asking you to give us latitude in either using up to another probably $2,000 max for the first month and a half until we start collecting rent to get this house secured before somebody else gets it. We've been looking for months. We've done all the due diligence we can. One other thing, liability for damages. We will add $10 a month to what we pay. It'll be $1,610. That $10 a month gives us a $100,000 physical damage policy through the property managed company. So we're not just walking in here with a lot of liability. We're in good shape.
Jerry, one of the things I wanted to ask related to that was, what if somebody gets hurt over there at this house or on the property? Somebody gets hurt mowing the yard.
Actually, that falls on the homeowner. It's the homeowner's property still. And the property management told me it is the homeowner's property. And so if somebody gets hurt, it goes on them first. We do have insurance, big headquarters, as an alumni association, and another policy as they are calling it at this point. Another thing that I feel good about is our chapter. They are in good standing with TEAC headquarters. They paid them off at the end of the semester. They owe them nothing. They're in good standings and still got over $1,000, $1,200, $1,300 in the bank. So despite their low numbers, they've managed to keep their nose clean. They had 3 colony fees that was kicking their butts, several $100s a semester, part of the process. They paid their last one this semester. And to be honest, when we build a house on campus, it won't have several things this one's got. It won't have the parking room, the storage room, the shed room, the separate building room. It's not going to be at the end of a dead-end street.
It won't have a recreational field.
It won't have a football field that's ours to
Like
use.
flag football or football or softball.
I'm telling you.
Just about
So
anything.
I hope you all can get a gist of what we're asking. If you want to give us permission to access some of the money that we've put in for housing to use for this house, most of it's going to go right back into the other house once the deposit's returned. We're going into it as diligently as we can. We've tried to express the urgency.
It's important for fall rush, in my opinion.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it is.
It's as important as it's ever been.
It really is an investment.
And if we can walk in there and say, hey, we've got a house that we can do things at, let me take you over there and meet some of the guys. And by the way, on the way there, we'll drive by where it says Future Home of TEAC. These guys will be back in the game. But without it, they're barely even a social club.
So what do you need for approval?
Okay, what we're going to do, get a voice vote from the Board of Advisors. We're going to give y'all our do pass, do not pass, and whether it's unanimous or whatever the vote is. And then we're going to lay it all out there on paper and in pictures. We're going to ask for your feedback and say, I think that y'all ought to use the housing fund as little as possible, but do what you have to do to achieve the goal. And then we're going to give y'all as quick as possible to give your input, acting on your behalf, because this ain't going to be a project of 4 or 5 guys. Everybody has been donating for this. Everybody needs a voice in it.
I truly believe this is a do or die as far as if we don't get a decent budget class in the fall.
Maybe that's a level playing field.
Oh, yeah, and I've been keeping up with it. I completely. And talking about the risk, I think worst case scenario, it's not a back-breaking risk no matter what. So I believe that. I believe we need to do it.
It's going to be worthless housing fund if we don't keep this chapter.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right.
The bulk of this is a deposit that will get 100% back. Okay.
Right.
The rest is just a little latitude to have some cash flow to get this thing started. And without this, we ain't gonna need a house 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years.
Well, that's
Maybe
true.
next year.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
If we don't get this chapter doubled up in the fall, maybe even 2 classes this fall, and get to within 30 or 40 within the next year, it's gonna be hard to make it. Brothers, we love fraternity. We appreciate everybody that's given $1, 1,000, or 10,000. In 2014, we got together and we said this chapter is worth saving. This is what we're going to have to do to save it.
The house will be a great place to meet before, after, go if it's a day game, hang out, get to know some of these guys, take our kids over there and let them meet them and hopefully, follow suit down the road.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree completely. I don't see how we can continue without doing it. And it seems almost like it's something that's just kind of a golden horse fell into our lap almost. So I think we need to do it for sure. We have guys that want to live there and that.
Yes, sir. Problem is they will not qualify on paper, so the board,
Right.
as we talked about last time, will stand good, but the board's acting on behalf of the Alumni Association.
I
So
think we need to make a decision as soon as possible because I'm afraid that house won't stay on the market.
it won't stay on the market, and let's get this chapter back on the road. We got a lot of things going, starting with a pool party at Jay Wood's house in July. I hope we're working on that, Jay. Thank you, gentlemen. We love
See
the
you guys.
fraternity.
Thank you.